And
Action. Hi guys, thanks for coming back to my channel to watch another video. Today I'm going to talk about another book that I have read. This one's a bit different than the previous two as well. This is a very non-fiction book, and I guess I bought this book because sometimes I just like to go into bookstores, as I'm sure most of you do, and just pick up a random book that just strikes me as interesting. This one is called France, A Short History. um, this book is written by Jeremy Black. It's a great book if you literally know absolutely nothing about France. And to be quite honest, despite studying European history and studying history at university, I knew surprisingly little about France, especially modern day France. I think that a lot of the history that I knew about France was I more or less assumed. But this book was fascinating. Obviously, it doesn't go into like a lot of detail about all of the different King Louis, but it just gives a great oversight into how France as a concept came around. With their monarchy, but also with how it kind of came around with essentially fighting other people as well. It was definitely a book of different parts for me because I really appreciated the modern part more, especially in the 1900s onwards. I did find the earlier parts interesting, just with regards to Napoleon and stuff, but I must confess there are so many names in this book that I kind of did get lost a bit. I just tried to step back a bit and just keep it very general. I think France though is a wonderful country, and it's a beautiful place to visit. I visited several cities in France, and it's just a wonderful place even just to travel through because it's such a wonderful infrastructure with the TGV and other, the metro and the buses and stuff. The public transport there is just fantastic, and the scenery even outside Paris is just amazing. So I really just want to learn a bit more about France. I would highly recommend this book for anyone who feels that their education on France is not very good, and just to appreciate French culture and also the French language, how that adapted. I was always really curious as to why French was different than Quebec French, and this book answers that along with a whole other host of questions I had as well. So yeah, if you're interested in France, read this book. It definitely makes you want to go back to France even more just to experience it again. Is this book for everyone? Definitely not. It's a bit heavy sometimes with the academics, but if you power through, I would highly recommend it. And it's also got some lovely pictures, so maybe that can keep you entertained. And also the modern pictures as well, such as with the Tour de France, and also with the more recent protests with the Gilets Jaunes. So yeah, I would highly recommend it. It's also a very good book as well because France is definitely a very focal point for socialism. It talks about that as well, how that's evolved in France, and why it's such a proudly socialist but definitely not communist country as well. So it's a fascinating insight into a very impactful and diverse country, and especially because so much of France today is not just metropolitan France, it's also different parts of France that are maintained all over the world, such as Reunion Island. So yeah, it's a fantastic book. Highly recommend it, but again, not for everyone, especially if you just want to read a fun story. But yeah, so anyway, thanks for listening to my recommendation. My wonderful book, France, A Short History. Well, not my wonderful book, it's Jeremy's. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this recommendation. If you've read this book before and you liked it or you hated it, please let me know in the comments below. If you're inspired to read this book, please drop me a message as well. I'd love to hear what you think about it. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Bye.